morning in the kitchen, while the bagels were toasting, I asked my kids what I should talk about for my next blog article. Without missing a beat, my 21-year-old son says to me, "Mom, you should tell them why it's so important to teach your kids to be politically active." Boom! I certainly was not expecting that response at all. He went on to tell me how much he has learned about the process over the past 5 years as our family has volunteered in different races locally. You see, I grew up in a home where we were taught it was rude to talk about politics and religion, so we just didn't do it. I currently live in a home where it's abnormal if we're not talking about politics and religion at some point during the day. In early 2012, my close friend and mother of 10 kids, she has 11 kids now, contacted me and asked me for help. Her husband was running for office and they needed some volunteers. Little did I know what the next few months would look like. Our family was baptized by immersion into the political process. After meeting with a campaign consultant, all systems were a go and we began campaigning. Our kids helped us set up a phone bank, taping phone call scripts to the walls and tag teaming between the dialers and the callers, recruiting more volunteers, providing cold water bottles and lunches for the campaign workers. My friend and I set up a Saturday neighborhood walks with our kids, pushing strollers and chasing toddlers up and down different blocks, getting our exercise, while an older teen was walking with a younger sibling and door knocking, talking to registered voters. See, they held up signs at polling booths for both early voting days as well as election day, attended fundraisers and local speeches at community events. They would deliver signs to people's yards and businesses. And most importantly, they learned how to ask questions from the candidates. They learned about the political process and how hard it is for a citizen to run for office. A couple of years later, our pastor ran for office. He was running for a representative seat in our district. We were all in when it came time to help him. My kids learned how important door knocking is in campaigns and why meeting voters makes a huge difference in voter turnout. They learned what it means to stand alone at a voting location holding voter guides for hours on end, constantly asking themselves, "Why am I here again?" You see, they learned a valuable lesson, even when it looked like they were surrounded by apathy, because they learned that freedom isn't free. They learned the importance of staying informed, the value of community activism, and giving selflessly of their time for the greater good. Volunteerism also helps promote stronger families and communities. It taught them how to ask the right questions and to treat others with respect, even if you don't agree with them. I'll never forget standing at a local high school for 12 hours right next to volunteers who were supporting our opponent. My kids witnessed what it looks like to show kindness to people, even if you disagree. It also teaches them the power of that one person really can make a difference. They learned important job skills. Helping out with campaigns also helps to fill idle time with productivity. My son-in-law's father has a saying, "A tired boy is a good boy," and nothing wears out sons faster than block walking in the hot Texas sun all day long. Finally, volunteer hours help meet college requirements and also introduce young people into scholarship opportunities. Well, I thought I would let you hear from my son, Cameron, on some of his thoughts.
Hey guys, this is Cameron Lichnowsky, and I thought I'd give you my quick story on how I got politically involved and how I am today with politics. And let me take you back to where I was. I was around 16 years old, and I got involved in my very first volunteer political campaign for Ted Seago. And I ended up door knocking and researching candidates and doing all these things for the political needs I saw. And kind of what I saw was other guys my age who were also helping the campaign and were very well informed. And my parents and the other people I saw helping volunteer really inspired me to learn more about my candidates. And so, what I did after I worked that campaign is I started to research more candidates when election would come up, not every 4 years, but even every 2 years on a lesser degree. And I found places like procon.org, which are websites that give you unbiased information on politicians. And also I just started watching videos of both of my candidates, or not just my candidate, but also the opposing candidate, to kind of form my opinion on politics. And kind of where I'm going now as a result of being exposed to a campaign and getting on fire for understanding the Constitution and understanding politics is now I'm a college student, I'm a senior, and I'm not afraid to have a political discussion with my friends and just, have easy conversations like, hey, do you plan to vote in this upcoming election? And then say, dare I ask who you're voting for? And just to talk about it. And a lot of college students are just very uninformed. And so kind of where I'm at now is anytime there's an election, I learn everything I need to about the candidate, what their views are on immigration, tax reform, securing the borders, whether we should or not, having our troops on another country or on our country, tax plans that work, views on controversial topics like abortion, gay marriage, and all these things should be left to the states or on a national level. Most people don't know why they believe what they believe, and so I just want to encourage a lot of other college students and people my age, or maybe parents who have kids, to not only tell your kids what to believe, but make sure they know why they believe what they believe. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm an informed voter. I plan to vote in upcoming primaries, in elections, to be and also just have conversations with my friends. On the day of the primary, I stopped 4 people from voting for Bernie Sanders because they're saying Bernie's going to give us everything. And I said, how exactly does he plan on paying for it? And they had no answer. And come to find out later that day that none of them voted. And so a lot of good can come out of being politically involved. And I just want to encourage all you parents, if you got kids, make sure they have strong roots. Make sure they know why they believe what they believe. And if you're my age, you're a college student, you got to be informed. You can't be a Facebook voter. You can't be a Twitter voter. Go to unbiased news outlets. Sadly, Fox News is not even that trustworthy now. You have to go to unbiased, like maybe C-SPAN if you're conservative, or procon.org. It gives you actual transcripts of what candidates say and not media clips. That can also be tainted. So just want to encourage all you guys, be active, get out there and change the world, because as I think Einstein once said, evil will only prevail the day that good men choose to not stand up and fight.